This is a free call from
Jacob Chansley.
an incarcerated individual.
Dude, this is fucking cool. This is like a rap video, dude. Yo, okay, hold on. I'm gonna post. I'm gonna tweet that I'm watching this.
15 months. I was there, feels strong, man.
Exclusive convo with the QAnon shaman from prison.
At Alexandria Detention Center. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored.
Hey! Fucking hey, man. Glad to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got covered in blood. God bless you.
I got shot in the face. I got shot in the face with some kind of plastic bullet.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming. I'm not one to usually take pictures of myself, but in this case, I think I'm making an exception.
Isn't he literally like a wannabe model slash actor? What do you mean you're not one to take photos of yourself, bro? You fucking dog. You got like, 12% body fat. Flaunt it, motherfucker. And you are.
Jacob Chansley, the self-proclaimed QAnon shaman, has just been sentenced to 41 months in prison for his role in the January 6th Capitol riots. He was seen entering the Senate chamber with a spear.
To accept this brief.
He looks like he's supposed to be. First of all, this is why you never wear armor outside of your class. He clearly spec'd as a bard. Okay, he's a bard. But he's dressed up like a barbarian. Clearly, he has no strength skills, okay? He needs the respect. Absolutely needs the respect immediately, dude. He's wearing armor that's like outside of his fucking weight class.
Recall, press 1. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hey man, how's it going?
All right, cool. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, brother. I'm doing okay. Spent the last 20-something hours in a cell, so, but at least I had something to work on.
Right. So for those who don't know, where are you at right now?
He's working on himself. Dude, he had to put his shoes up there.
Oh, I am in Alexandria Detention Center in Alexandria, Virginia. I am sleeping on a 1.5-inch foam mat that is on top of a concrete slab every night, and that's pretty much where I'm sitting all day as well. I get 22 hours in my cell and 2 hours outside of my cell. There's no going outside or working out or anything like that. This place can definitely take its toll on you. It makes me think of the saying in Shawshank Redemption when Red said, in prison, a man will do most anything to keep his mind occupied. Yeah, I know how that is.
Right. How would you describe the conditions of the jail that you're in right now?
Well, the conditions in Alexandria are, in the detention center, not as bad as they were in, say, the D.C. jail. I've never experienced, real racism and prejudice in my life until I went to the D.C. jail. There was a black woman from Nigeria that was like their nurse or their doctor that was examining me while I was...
Oh, my God. Is he going to say there was anti-white racism in the D.C. prison? Oh, wow. The QAnon shaman and Twitch have the exact same point of view. That's special. That's a really special thing that we've arrived at.
Fasting for 11 days because they weren't feeding me organic. She thought I was a racist and a white supremacist and all this crap because she believed what was on the mainstream Mockingbird media. And when I told her that I was not racist, that I was not white supremacist whatsoever, that I've actually, dated all sorts of women of all sorts of races, I've had all sorts of friends of all sorts of races, and I said, I've even dated several black women. She said, I can't believe a black woman would ever date you. And I was like, oh my God, this woman is racist.
Yo, this is content, dude. Oh, fucking bless Andrew, dude. Incredible.
It's like being openly racist, because if the roles were reversed and she was...
Yo, this is literally Twitch, dude. Twitch.tv's official statement on the C word and the QAnon shaman are literally fucking, it's like this. I love that. Oh, that's so good.
Standing in the doorway while a white nurse told a black guy, I can't believe a white woman would ever date you, she would be appalled. You know, she doesn't know what my ethnic background is. She doesn't know I got Native American blood in me. She doesn't know, you know what I'm saying? She has no idea.
White people bingo, Native American blood in me. Oh, this is so good.
She's judging me by the color of my skin. There was also a guy, a guard over there that wore a Black Lives Matter mask. So he was taunting the Trump supporters and, you know, like harassing them and, you know, messing with them and stuff.
I didn't know you had a Native American in you.
Yeah, that's something that I found out somewhat recently, actually, when I talked to my grandmother of my father, who I never met my actual father, except for like once when I was 30. But my grandmother on that side, she told me that we have Cheyenne blood in us.
For sure. Have you been able to make any friends in there?
Oh no, dude. No offense to anybody in here, but you know, jail is not the place to make friends.
I just figure like you might want to play card games or like, you know, spitball and figure out some way to pass the time.
Dude, I can't get it. No. That's the thing. I can't play card games with anybody because I'm in the cell 22 hours a day, and when I come out of my cell, I'm the only one out of my cell.
So you got sentenced to 41 months. How do you feel about that sentence?
You know, I don't think it's fair. If that's what you mean. I think that they thought an example had to be made, and I don't think they anticipated that example being a double-edged sword.
That is really fucked up, for the record. God damn, dude. American prisons are so fucking brutal and so incredibly fucked that, like, homie's just in 22-hour, like, solitary confinement for months on end. That's torture, by the way. There's a reason why Norway refuses to extradite prisoners to the United States of America, because they declare it, like, inhumane and unlawful to extradite prisoners to America because of the conditions here. It's fucking awful. That's worse than the UK prison, by the way. Yeah, no shit. And he is most likely, I don't know what the prison he's in, but it's probably better considering he can do a fucking 44-minute collect call. That's probably a little bit better than most other fucking prisons and the most of the conditions in other prisons too. So like, it's even worse than that.
Where, you know, they tried to make an example out of me, but in the process they made it clear to the American people that the justice system is not fair or balanced.
What do you mean by that?
That, you know, there was a guy that threatened to shoot Pelosi in the head, and he brought 2 guns and a bunch of ammo, and he got 28 months. I never threatened to hurt anybody. I never vandalized any property. I never hurt anybody. I didn't assault anybody. I didn't steal anything. You know, WTF, mate.
Right. So why do you think they picked you to make an example out of?
Because I think that I became a symbol, not just so much of January 6th, but because I became a symbol for freedom, a face for freedom of sorts. And,
what?
You know, I stood out the most, to say the least. And I think
Bro, this dude is not learning a lesson in there, okay? Not that any fucking prison in the American prison industrial complex ever actually is slanted towards teaching people and educating them and, you know, rehabilitation. But like, he's extra not learning anything, okay? He's like, you know, there was anti-white racism happening to me in DC. Also, I'm a symbol of freedom. Like, just focus on the high notes, homie. Like, for example, the fact that like another dude who actually had a fucking gun getting, you know, half of your sentence, that's crazy, okay? That is crazy.
I energized a lot of people, not just in the United States, but all over the world, to stand up for their freedoms as well.
How do you feel about the nickname QAnon Shaman?
Well, it's not anything I ever asked for. It's one that was given to me by Alex Jones.
Alex Jones gave you that nickname?
He's the one that called me the QAnon Shaman for the very first time when I did an interview with him. I think it was on the 8th of January.
Damn. So it just caught on from there?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not QAnon Shaman, but you are a shaman, right? And you also...
I do practice shamanism, yes, sir.
Can you tell me more about what shamanism means to you?
The shaman is like a ancient monk or priest, psychologist, pharmacologist, historian, storyteller, artist, astronomer, tattoo artist.
Like, here's the thing. Okay. We put people in prison for, what's the reason? Let's think about this for a second. We put people in prison because, like, we think that they are a threat to others if they're out and about, right? Like, they will be a threat to other people. Obviously, I'm not talking about the actual reasons, chat. Stop saying poor or because people are environmental activists or because they're fucking, you know, they got weed on them. Like, I'm not talking about the real reason. I'm talking about, in theory, the concept of prison is because, you know, these people are a threat to society. That, like, if they are walking out and about, that they're, like, actually going to, you know, continue this behavior that is antisocial, continue in this behavior that, like, harms a society from functioning appropriately, right? In theory, that's the reason why there's there's one of the reasons why there is there is a concept as prisons, right? You deny them their freedoms. The other reason is also punishment, obviously. On the punishment side, it's totally understandable that this dude would go to jail, okay? For a certain period of time. His conditions should be infinitely better, as are the conditions for every other prisoner in the United States of America. It's fucking ridiculous that, like, the way we just absolutely fucking destroy people that go to prison, right? But, like, who's this guy gonna hurt if he's out of prison? Like, if he went to jail for like 10 months, who's he gonna hurt when he came out? If this guy, do you feel more?
Thank you for.
Do you feel more safe knowing that this man is in jail? And I don't mean, like, safe because you think, like, other people are going to be deterred from behaving in this sort of action. Like, well, what do you think this fucking idiot is going to do? You will change your mind about him being in danger in about 20 minutes? Okay, maybe.
Psychic, all of these things wrapped into one person. And so for me, I was always interested and intrigued by Native American culture. And like I told you, my grandmother said that I have Cheyenne in my blood. And she actually said that one of our ancestors was one of the few survivors on the Trail of Tears. So I always knew that the medicine man or the shaman knew something special. And I always wanted to know what that was.
You would hurt less living creatures than you non-vegans? Oh my God. Get this guy out of prison and put every vegan in my chat in prison, okay?
Myself.
For that take.
And so something very deep
4%.
in me called me to the shamanic path. And so I searched for the truth of my existence and of enlightenment on the shamanic path. And I always knew I was destined to find it one day.
Right. When did you first get introduced to shamanic practice?
So I officially started and deliberately started my shamanic path on November 2nd, 2012, when I got my first tattoos, and those were on my feet. And now I have over...
Bro, every part of this story is, like, just straight up, like, from saying he's got, like, native, native lineage that he found out later in life, all the way to, like, I got tattoos and decided I was a shaman. Like, this is just like a dumb white bro, okay? It's just like dumb jock things so far.
For 100 hours worth of tattoos, and all of them were earned.
I hope we arrive at, like, what the fucking turning point was. Like, what was the thing that fucking broke his brain?
Like through personal growth or some sort of like a symbol for an accomplishment, or all have some sort of a deep meaning, or were used for like to like symbolize the overcoming of pain or an obstacle in my life. Like, for example, the bricks on my arm, the sleeves, I got those after my dad committed suicide. It took like 36 hours to complete. And the whole time I was, using the physical pain to deal with the mental and emotional pain I was in.
Yeah, the top of the foot is supposed to be like one of the most painful places to get tattooed because of all the nerve endings.
Yeah,
right?
That's why I chose it, was because the whole idea with, shamanism is you go through ordeals, and after you go through the ordeal, you you have this like out of body experience, whether it be by overcoming pain or, going through some sort of like long ordeal process, like some people, know about the sun dance ceremony and stuff like that. That's an ordeal. And a lot of these things end up causing out of out-of-body experiences or spiritual experiences of reality.
3 months of using.
I guess, I mean, you know, psychologically and emotionally, what prompted you to get those first tattoos on your feet?
Well, I wanted to know, like, I always ask myself, why are these tribal people all over the world, why are they tattooing themselves? Why are they undergoing hours and hours and hours of excruciating pain? What's the point? Like, why?
So at what age did you kind of become interested in Native American culture?
Oh, I've always been interested. Yeah, I grew up in Arizona, so I've always been interested in it. It's always been a part of my life, you know.
But was there a particular moment, like maybe in your youth, where you were like, oh, this is something that I think is super cool and like I want to learn more about?
Kind of. I just, like, whenever I saw the native dudes with the big feather headdresses, you know, when I heard about peyote and hallucinogens.
Have you ever experimented with peyote or anything like that before?
Oh yeah, for sure. All shamans use these tools as a way of transcending the physical body and gaining a larger view of reality. And so the shaman is like an expert of these spiritual or these mental tools that allow people to gain a broader view of the world, of their spiritual connection to all things. And
bro, there are so many. Okay, here's my question. There are so many people like him. If you've ever been to the desert in California, or if you've ever been to Arizona, there are so many people like him. Remember the girl that we watched on MasterChef the last season? Like, that girl is this guy, okay? But she didn't take a turn where she's now like a fucking, you know, weirdo QAnon person. Dude, this is like the most average Arizona person, okay? Like Yucca Valley, full of people like this, straight up. Or in California. He's like, whoa, wait, what the fuck? You guys I thought y'all were Mexican. You're telling me you're Native American and you got drugs? I'm on board. Like, fucking sign me up, bro. Let me get some tattoos. It's just, that's it.
God and life itself.
When did you first experiment with the medicine?
That was, I think, in like 2014, 2015, something like that. That was the first time I ever tried peyote. But I had tried other, things like sacred mushrooms and, things like that beforehand.
What insights do you feel like you gained from peyote?
Well, I can honestly tell you,
after saying the C word,
I'll put it this way. The only way that I can really explain the things that I understand or the insights that I've gained, it wasn't just through peyote. It was through things like cannabis, through mushroom experiences, through all sorts of other, transcendental experiences, including things like meditation and trance states, breathing rhythms, even things like fasting, tattoos, all of that stuff. And the ultimate conclusion I came to is that the body is a tool for the soul of God, almost like the body is like a microscope and a telescope, and the soul of God is the observer, able to examine the infinitely large or the infinitely small. And so in a way, the body is like an instrument that can be tuned in a number of different ways to tune the mind and the body.
Bro, this is why you got to do drugs responsibly, okay? Because, like, there's a turning point. Like, when you experiment with like psychedelics and hallucinogenic drugs, it usually makes you more progressive in like 90% of circumstances. But then when you go beyond a certain point, you fry something in your mind and then you become like the anti-vaxxer crystal QAnon mommy. Okay? This man went beyond that point. Okay? That's just it. There's nothing up there. It's just fucking things swirling around. No more brain.
To the frequencies of God's omnipresent consciousness.
9 months.
Every culture has a different name for it. Nirvana to the Buddhist, Brahma to the Hindus, collective unconscious to the materialists. Ultimately, though, I came to discover that the light is one and the paths are many. And everything and everyone is interconnected to the...
I can't, dude. I need to be fucking high. This part of it is just like, I cannot. It's just like, it's kind of, I'm going to skip past this part.
That everything is made made up of energy. We are seeking God and the truth, quote unquote, involved in politics until 2020.
Yeah, that's where we're getting to. Here it is. Shut the fuck up, chatters. Let's get to the good shit.
What catalyzed you to get involved in politics?
Well, that is a funny story. Let me start by saying
got to
that
Hi. Smile.
a fish does not know that it's swimming in water, okay? And a sane person in an insane society will appear insane. So that being said, everything I'm about to say, I ask people to keep an open mind and an open heart and try and understand that
give it
where
to
I'm
me.
coming from is a place that is, from literally...
Bro, homie went from... Wait. He went from getting involved... Wait, did he say 2020? Wait, hold on. He went from not being involved in politics in 2020 and to, like, storming the fucking Capitol? Oh, my God.
Thousands of hours of research, and I'm a very skeptical and rational person, and the only way I'm ever going to believe anything...
Or did he say 2012?
Is if I've seen it from more than one angle, and I've heard it from more than one source, and, dinged the little truth bell inside of my heart. So I always knew that DC was corrupt. And when I heard about Podesta's leaked emails to the public, I started to read them with a mild curiosity. Then I started to notice a very strange pattern in the emails. And
the fucking CP shit, cheese pizza shit. No way. I mean, yes way. This dude fried. His brain is fucking deep fried more than a Zoomer meme, okay? Of course he saw cheese pizza, which was literally, he's just saying he went on fucking poll, okay? That's it. His research existed entirely on poll. You want to know how I know that? Because the Pizzagate stuff and CP being, or cheese pizza being likened to CP, which was a code name for child pornography. You want to know why that came straight out of fucking 4chan? Because there's a lot of child pornography, or was a lot of child pornography on 4chan. And that's what the code name was for child pornography on 4chan. And that's why they were like, oh, cheese pizza must be child pornography. That's where that fucking came from. Okay? That's straight up where that fucking came from. That whole Pizzagate shit, alongside QAnon as well. Isn't that the reason Jack Posobiec is famous? Yeah.
Were leaked, and how it involved most of the, like some of the most powerful DC moguls, like, Clintons and the Obamas and Bidens, and how it involved celebrities and international bankers. And the big picture became crystal clear. And it was not even a week or two later that...
it did not become... Spoiler alert. No, it did not become crystal clear. Okay? Wait, so it was actually just about cheese pizza? I'm educated on pizza. I'm not educated on Pizzagate at all. No, dude. John Podesta was hiring, was purchasing child pornography and using code names for it, and they were getting it from a DC pizzeria. Like, what the fuck? What are you, psychotic? No, of course not. First of all, this idea that, like, and I talked about this before. Listen, are there sick freaks within DC that most likely engage in pedophilia? Of course there are. This is what fucking powerful people do, okay? Straight up. I mean, we know this to be literally true. Look at Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Look at who Jeffrey Epstein was homies with. Clearly, that is, that's definitely happening, okay? Are they doing it through code names in a way that is, like, trackable from a fucking DC pizzeria? No, of course not, you fucking moron. No, that's not real. That's not what's happening. Okay? They're doing it through Jeffrey Epstein. Remember when everybody thought,
the child of Hassan streamed through my
for a brief moment, that Wayfair was selling children because things that are out of stock that they don't want to take off the fucking website, they would just make the price point insanely high. And then TikTok literally was like, that must be a child that they're selling. And that's why a pillow is going for like 20 grand. It took it took like 3 seconds of research to figure that out. But so many people straight up were whipped up into a fucking frenzy and thought that was real, that was what was going on. The humans were being trafficked on Wayfair. Like, why the fuck would rich people go to Wayfair, dumbass? What rich person has ever purchased furniture from Wayfair? Okay, just like think about the involvement that like they would have to have with like hundreds of thousands of individuals on every step of that fucking production process, on that supply chain, basically, that would have to keep a secret that they're fucking shipping children to rich people. Why is this cabinet named Kylie? Well, because there's, you know, they're literally fucking making a million different things, okay?
Gag me.
What was the email actually referring to? What? Cheese pizza. Like pizza that you purchase catering wise for whatever fucking event that they're talking about.
First Q drop appeared, and all the research pointed to Q being the beginning of full disclosure, and I came to conclude that Q was involved with the highest levels of the military and the intelligence community, and that Q was involved with like things like the deep underground military bases and black budget technologies and stuff like that, above top secret information, and ultimately Q involved the warring factions of the deep state, what some people have called the alliance versus the cabal, and that what we were experiencing was kind of like a mind war, and this mind war over the minds of the populations would end up affecting the timelines that we created as a species, almost like hijacking our co-creative abilities, and that would determine the fate of humanity.
So what do you think the deep state like wants for the fate of humanity?
Dude, this guy got owned so hard, bro. He literally believed Pizzagate. Then, of course, he believed QAnon. By the way, notice how he never mentions fucking 4chan? Like, where does he not realize that we know where he got all the info from? He keeps saying he did research. He's like making it seem like he was actually, you know, hitting the books. Brother, you didn't do research. You went on 4chan. That's it, dude. You went on fucking /poll, dog. That's your research. It's so obvious. Like, every single thing that he's saying started off as a fucking meme by psychos who are straight up deranged. But unfortunately, there are plenty of people that are just as deranged as they are. And they get together and they make this shit up, not realizing that, like, people will actually believe in it. Like, some of you that have frequented those fucking forums know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, it's wild. It's wild that like a bunch of people exactly like you, or maybe even yourself that participated in this maybe a couple years back, were able to literally break the brains collectively of like millions of people. Insane.
Like, if they had their way and every sinister plot they are trying to arrange came true, like, what would our day-to-day life look like?
What they want is centralized.
Don't you think giving this guy platform is dangerous, especially without substantial pushback from Andrew? Are you fucking insane? What do you want him to do? Like, fucking debate the dude in prison right now about Pizzagate? Who the fuck is gonna watch and be like, wow, the QAnon shaman that's in Pizzagate, he's got some good ideas, bro. We've moved beyond this stuff.
Power through corruption.
I love to eat.
They want to negate the three-branch checks and balances, three-branch government system, and maintain and expand the corrupt government bureaucracy. So they basically want no freedom, full totalitarian control. They want control and access to all of our biometric data, all of our medical records, all of our financial records, all of our personal data. They want to know all of it and control all of it.
Maybe put disclaimers. Maybe add disclaimers to the video. Dude, shut up, dude. Maybe fucking add disclaimers to you, dude. Holy shit. Bro, I saw a fan TikTok of you today on my For You page, and people literally straight up lying with their full chest in the comments about that dumb brothel shit. It was deranged. Dude, swerfs, dude. Swerfs are fucking bananas. They just like Straight up fucking lie. And there's nothing you can do. They're like the other tail end. They're on the fucking other side of the QAnon coin, okay? Swerves are.
They want to make things like vaccines mandatory. There's no body autonomy, no free choice, chips in your hand type of thing. Think like communist China, except in the United States and all over the world. That is what the deep state is looking to do. And somebody may say, well, that won't happen in the United States. And I would say to those people, well, how far are we from 2 weeks to stop the spread? I think that COVID is proof that the corruption that we're dealing with is not just in the United States, but that is global. I mean, like, vaccines are being used as an excuse to do all sorts of things. I think it's only a matter of time before they're used to round up and detain enemies of the New World Order or of the deep state. I mean, this virus is only killing less than 1% of the population.
So how do people make that jump?
Read chat.
I totally understand, and this tracks with like everything we know about conspiracy theorists and like people who believe in these like insane conspiracies. That like these big events happen. There's already like a lot of instability in their lives, and they kind of see that things are not all right, and they try to make sense of what is otherwise senseless. You know what I mean? And there's no moral grounding rooted within materialist analysis. So they're just like thinking of like all of these mystical different ways is the way that society operates. And it's like a child's brain, right? You're like, there's good people and there's bad people. And the good people are, fighting against the bad people. And the bad people are doing it because they're bad, right? So people on TikTok genuinely think you're a fucking grifter. Yeah. Dude, it's TikTok, man. Either they're horny as fuck for me and talking about how they want to fuck me, or they think I'm a grifter and also a sex trafficker, okay? Like, and nothing in between. I don't care. It's TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you're getting your politics off TikTok, I'm sorry, but it's probably very hard for you to fucking... This is the more mainstream version, okay? TikTok leads to this guy, okay? Also, places like Float Universe is pushing conspiracy shit for the what? So, horny about wanting to K-word you? Oh yeah, dude. That's the wild shit. But getting your politics on Twitch is fine. Got it. I mean, it depends on where you're getting your politics from, but yeah, I think you can get your political fucking knowledge from a 12-hour broadcast. If you're getting it from a 13-second TikTok of some kid who learned about politics by, frequenting Tumblr when they were like 12 years old, then yeah, it's a little bit different. Just saying. My mom came into my apartment yesterday and told me all this, plus that I'm going to go to hell if I take the vaccine and turn into a locust and eat my family. And she started crying. I can't believe people think like her. No shot. I think there are a lot of good political TikTokers, though. It's hard to make a blanket statement about it. Yeah, no, there's just like, there are definitely a lot of fucking deranged people on TikTok too, though. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. Okay? Anyway, look, the thing I was trying to say though is that like this is the normal, it tracks like these big events that lead to even more questions. A clip of someone else's video. Wow, you're a historian, dog. What? TikTok and he's called MLK a capitalist scumbag. Yeah, they also said he was like I've seen people on fucking TikTok literally canceling Martin Luther King Zoomers because of actual fucking FBI conspiracies about him because they believe it years and years later. Anyway.
Love the content.
So I think that the ultimate end goal is to have a two-tiered slavery system where you have free-range slaves that are in the cities and they're being used as like workhorses to create a large generation of tax revenue for these black budget operations.
What?
These people live in the cities. These people are monitored by like the deep underground bases, by these classified technologies. These people in these cities are basically like held hostage by the corrupt deep underground bases. And then there would be the FEMA camps or the concentration camps, which, you know, these things, believe it or not, may already exist. If you look into the way that certain Walmarts have been shut down and converted. I mean, the same stuff we're talking about happened in Nazi Germany. It happened in the USSR. It happened and is happening right now in communist China.
So where does Trump fit into this whole thing?
Well, you know, that's a good question. This whole idea of Pizzagate and the info that was dropped during Pizzagate was almost like a trial run. And it was conducted to disclose the truth to the public prior to the 2016 election. So the public knew what was really at stake, and people like Hillary Clinton couldn't get in. And the point is that Q was like the next step, I think, in the intel drops. And so after understanding what in the Q community is known as the Q clock, the way that the timestamps and the gap code work with the Q drops and how they all relate to Donald Trump's tweets and how there's a lot of the same verbiage in the tweets as well as in the drops, and they all, a lot of the time, they occur around the same exact time.
Bro, this is, by the way, what he's describing here, and this is why I always say this is like schizophrenia. This is like mass-induced schizophrenia. That is literally a symptom, okay? Like, don't get mad at me. Don't say this is ableist, okay? There's going to be some chatters who are, you know, medicated or dealing with schizophrenia. They're going to get mad and say fucking fuck you. But, like, this is unironically a symptom, okay, of psychosis. So a lot of these people, ironically, the anti-vaxxers now constantly talk about mass psychosis, okay, which is literally happening to them. Okay, like the numerology shit, the delusions, all this stuff, like, oh, everything is connected to one another. Actually, like Donald Trump is connected to the Q drops. Like that is that is just people who have become paranoid and psychotic by looking at posts too much. It's crazy. Like posting can be dangerous, and that is what's going on here. Not all of those dudes have taken drugs. Just because he fried his brain with drugs and made him more susceptible, I guess, to this sort of thinking. But a lot of these are symptoms. And I do believe that like this level of like a paranoid, delusional, psychotic thinking, either they had a history of it in their family, or maybe they just like fucking straight up did not have it and they got it through posts. But it is happening. DSM for schizophrenia symptoms or more of the following each present a significant portion of time during a 1 month period or less successfully treated. Delusions, 1. Hallucinations, 2. Disorganized speech, frequent derailment or incoherence, 4. Grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior, negative symptoms, i.e. affective flattening, alogia or avolition. Hogs will say COVID is a Chinese bioweapon, then immediately jump to say that the U.S. it's a government plot.
And the way that certain messages are put out, you know, in time or in lockstep with his tweets and all that stuff. They were using numbers to communicate a much larger and broader message that if you put the puzzle pieces together, it made perfect sense. It seemed to me that Trump was a part of something a lot bigger. That Trump being at the helm in the presidency, he was a part of this faction within the military-industrial complex, within the quote-unquote deep state, the good guys that were trying to free humanity, and they were trying to get rid of this cabal that is essentially full of Marxists, fascists.
Like straight up, this is what happens when you cannot comprehend the way that society is organized. Like, you understand it, okay? There's a level of understanding that, like, shit is fucked up, okay? I'm going to use really basic terms. You're like, why the fuck are there... Like, think about it this way. Think about if everything that you've ever experienced hadn't worked to normalize everything that you're currently experiencing, okay? And, like, you're a good person. You grew up in, like, a commune or something. Let's say you're a good person. You come out of the commune, and all of a sudden, you got massive fucking luxury high-rises, okay? You got wealthy people getting fat inside of those fucking luxury high-rises. And then at the bottom, you have people on the street fucking dying. You're like, well, this shit is fucked up. There's something severely and deeply wrong with this, okay? Even if you yourself aren't personally impacted by that, that breaks your brain a little bit, okay? It's kind of like, you know how your brain normally works to push out certain sounds? Or your brain is actively, whether you recognize it or not, working to, you know, not remind you that you're on a fucking ball somewhere in deep space? Like the white noise that you don't hear. These are things that you're doing without realizing that you're doing, and you need to do that so you don't have to fucking so you don't constantly hear this shit or constantly think about it. Because if that was what you were thinking about constantly, then you wouldn't be able to recognize that the top of the hour ad break is here, right? And then go about your daily life.
Hoggers hyperclap DAS right, baby.
And then realize that, you know, you're going to need to go about your daily life. And if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Or if you are lucky, you get gifted a sub. You know, these are the things that you would be able to get to avoid the top of the hour ad break. Like, it's normal. It just happens. Okay? The point I was trying to make is this. A lot of people through social conditioning, every single person through social conditioning, especially in a capitalist society, trains themselves inadvertently to not recognize the deep inequalities that are happening in front of their fucking eyes. Okay? In front of their eyes. And then some people actually see that. Okay? And some people actually recognize it. And then they want to make sense of it.
It's my wife's
and there are ways to make sense of it. Okay? Some people make sense of it by saying, you know, everything is predetermined. God put us on this planet for a purpose, yada, yada. I'm going to go to heaven, blah, blah, blah. Some people recognize that it's the relationship that people have with the means of production and how commodities are produced and how society has to function as a consequence of that. And then other people look for mysterious or rather mystical reasons. Okay? But it's a deep wanting to rationalize why certain things are happening. And if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in like religion or whatever the fuck, or if you don't believe in like a materialist grounding, then you're gonna have to believe that there are good people and bad people, especially if you do believe that. If you think that there are actually good people and then there are actually bad people, and that bad people are doing bad things because they're bad and good people are doing good things because they're good, right? Well, then you have to, you realize that there are like all these people at the top
Happy 1/6
that are pulling the puppet strings, okay? And that those people are doing bad things because they're just pure evil and they want to control everything, okay? Which is, again, not that far off from the reality. It's just that that kind of thinking opens you up to really nefarious conspiracies, like really horrible conspiracies. Okay? If you think to yourself, like, yeah, there is a form of control within society that is capital owners that are operating at the behest of their own profit, okay? And society is organized around that, then that's understandable. That's your socialist. That's a socialist way of thinking. Okay, it's a Marxist way of thinking. But that's not really sexy. It's not really, you know, I would say that it's boring almost. What's more interesting is if these guys are fucking evil and they're like you know, they love sucking people's blood or whatever the fuck. There's vampires and they're doing it for fun and because they're just evil, right? And that and Nazis, for example, or other conspiracists that always somehow, if you go you know, enough tiers into the conspiracy, they always revolve around blood libel and anti-Semitism, obviously, right? Nazis believe that those are the people that are Jewish, okay, and that they are they're here to control and yada yada, which I'm sure he will get to eventually as well. Because he's so far into the conspiracy spectrum that there's no shot he's not fucking anti-Semitic, okay? So, Marx never considered people becoming mentally ill from memes. Yeah, I mean, that's true. He's like a fire Channel 5 video and made it unwatchable. Dude, why are you in here? You're so fucking annoying, dude. Here, actually, fuck you. You, like, annoy me every day, dumbass. Like, go watch it on your own, you fucking dingus. You're here because I'm going to add additional commentary and try to make sense of the fucking senseless shit that this guy is saying.
And New World Order types that are trying to enslave the population. So Trump, you know, he was tough on China, he was tough on Russia, he was tough on Iran. He was trying to create peace in the Middle East. You know, he released the JFK file. He created the Space Force. That was also during the Trump administration. There was a declassification of zero-point energy engine and inertial propulsion or anti-gravity craft that the Navy put out there. Okay, I'll put it this way. Q is the only major movement in history, as far as I can tell, that is working to disclose the full truth about, say, government special access programs, top secret information and technologies, the truth about things like aliens or interdimensional beings and their role here on the planet. They're the only ones that this movement was the only portion of any sort of campaign that I've seen in history that is talking about, like, the breakaway civilization that has been created in these deep underground military bases. Right. It's the only movement that is disclosing the truth about things like looking glass technology, the anti-gravity technology or inertial propulsion technology, how it relates to things like time travel and creating timelines, the way that we have, like, healing technologies or infinite energy devices, and how all this stuff relates to black budgets and to the endless amount of tax dollars that are being
The thing I hate the most about these conspiracies is that, like, there's always a fucking grain of truth, okay? In every conspiracy theory, there's just a layer. There's just a little bit of a layer. Like, black budgets are real, okay? There's $35 trillion unaccounted for in the Pentagon budget, according, like, I think as of last year. $35 trillion, okay? That's real news. That's not fake news. It's not fucking conspiracy theories. You also have JSOC that funds its operations that normally you would not be able to fund by, I don't know, protecting some poppy fields in Afghanistan and, you know, selling heroin to everywhere but America, because the American heroin is actually coming from Mexico. I'm talking about street heroin, not like fucking illegal shit, which is done in New Zealand and I think, like, what is it, like, and in Australia. Anyway, and you know, examples of this throughout history that we know of that's well documented is, for example, the Iran-Contra deal, right? At Tanzania. So that sort of stuff, or Tasmania, not Tanzania. Okay, shut up. That sort of stuff is definitely real. So they take a crumb of truth, like special operations that you normally wouldn't be able to fund with government funding, so you have to fund it otherwise through illegal methods. Okay.
Joe from MasterChef being openly and aggressively racist.
That's real. That's a real thing that happens, and you know, we find out about it because they fucking then turn around and declassify some of this stuff, or prosecute some of this stuff later down the line with a, but obviously no one actually gets like any sort of serious repercussions for it. So conspiracy theorists will then take shit like that, and it almost feels like a fucking psyop where conspiracy theorists will take shit like that that's real, MK Ultra, stuff like that,
January 6th,
and turn it into completely psychotic bullshit that stretches all the way to, one, anti-Semitic conspiracies, and two, to like even interdimensional pedophile vampires, okay? Which is why I always say Alex Jones is a fucking psyop, to like discredit the actual fucked up shit that the government does, so that you think, oh, wait a minute, what do you mean? You believe in MK Ultra, which is fucking real, literally real. That means you must be a person who also believes in interdimensional psychic vampires. That's why there's so many people who are like, wait a minute, you think Jeffrey Epstein actually didn't kill himself? Well, you must be a conspiracy theorist that believes in all this shit too. It's like, no, motherfucker. One of that one is a very realistic likelihood with a cover-up that wasn't even that good. The other is just completely bananas, okay? Outside of the realm of comprehension.
To create this breakaway civilization, we procured over 1,500 Nazi scientists, doctors, and intelligence agents, and
I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. This is exactly what I was talking about. That's real.
Brought them over here. We wiped their war records and their war crimes clean. We brought them into our government and put them some of the highest levels of power in our government bureaucracy during Operation Paperclip.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was saying,
Joe, I swear to God, dude, QAnon, Alex Jones, all these fucking psychotic conspiracy theorists, 1,000%, 1,000,000% are a way to discredit like the actual fucked up shit that the government does. I swear to fucking God. Oh my God, dude. Because that's real. Operation Paperclip is real, well documented. Okay. That's not like a conspiracy theory. But when you fucking put that in a conversation that is like on the tail end or sandwiched between like literally fucking saying shit like, deep state cabal of bankers and whatever the fuck, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, maybe Operation Paperclip isn't real. Well, I mean, it is.
Like a lot of those things like are objectively true, right? Operation Paperclip was real. Operation Mockingbird was real. MK Ultra was also real. But do you think that the more intense stuff in the Q universe, like elite Democrats drinking children's blood, is also real?
Bing bong.
Here's the thing about that. For thousands of years, that has been something that has been practiced by elite groups in high levels of occultic power. Okay, in ancient Rome, in ancient Egypt, okay, in ancient Babylon, in ancient Sumer. Okay, there were high levels of elites. Okay,
and there it is, boys. There it is. Who do you think the high level occultic power is in all of those societies? He's gonna say.
Wow, thanks, Hassel.
Who do you think he means when he says that? Dude, every conspiracy theory ultimately gets to Jewish people. Okay, no, he's not gonna say Italians, chatter.
These individuals, what they would do is they would consume a large amount of psychoactive plants, and then they would do so at places like sacred sites like the pyramids or in temples or near obelisks or out in the desert, or at sacred sites, et cetera, et cetera. And when they consume these large amounts of psychoactive plants, they would have these out-of-body experiences where they communicated with interdimensional beings that were of like a higher dimensional realm and the frequencies of light that are not perceived by the five senses. senses, okay? And they would download large amounts of data in these higher dimensional data fields that in many cases would go beyond syntax or go beyond the use of words. And these individuals basically expanded their consciousness field to like cosmic levels of proportion and were able to digest these massive amounts of knowledge that most people don't even perceive because they're so busy being stuck in their bodies. Now, with all of that said, there's another faction within the ancient Egyptian hierarchy, and that would be like the people that worship Set. And Set is like the ancient Egyptian form of Satan. Okay, so Satan worship.
Bro, I love shit like this because honestly, I filled my brain with random chatters and information about random chatters, some of which I may never even meet. Okay, some of whom I ban. Okay. And in that process, I probably eliminate some of the data because there's only a finite amount of data I can put up there. So I'm probably eliminating some fucking, important memories. But then I see this guy and he fucking did a full wipe. Okay. He did a full system wipe and filled it up with this shit. Okay. At least motherfuckers care about like Warhammer 40K. It's just like that's healthier in comparison to this. It's me knowing details about individual chatters is healthier than whatever this is going on, whatever is going on in here.
And Saturn worship are one and the same thing. And so there was this ancient form of Saturn worship in ancient Egypt where what they would do is instead of consuming large amounts of psychoactive plants, which they did do on occasion, but what they did more than anything is they used things like, say, Hebrew children or children of slaves to do these satanic ceremonies of blood sacrifice. And the whole idea is that they terrified their victims to the point to where their victims had an out-of-body experience. And in this out-of-body experience, their body filled with adrenaline.
Bro, how do you get there, dude? How? You took it's like you tell someone, you tell someone the directions to getting to your house and they took a spaceship, okay? And flew to a different planet. How? Making memories as an Italian in a virtual world is a better use of brain space than the hours this freak spent browsing 8chan. Like, dude, it is fucking nuts, dude. First of all, I mean, but it's also no different than like watching, as chatters have been saying, watching Berserk and thinking that's real. You know what I mean? Like, he literally was like, he watched Yu-Gi-Oh! And thought everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually reality. Okay? So it's like a fun way to exist, but it's instead of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Berserk, it's anti-Semitic Berserk, okay?
My best friend literally practices shamanism and believes energy vampires exist. There is absolutely no way to have a conversation with him about why it's bullshit. I worry that one day he's gonna do something really fucking stupid.
Okay, and as their body filled with a bunch of adrenaline, they would end up killing the victim, sacrificing them to Saturn. Okay, and in the process, their adrenalized blood would be drained and poured into like a chalice or something like that. And when they drain,
what is it called when you're discussing something and you proceed to take the conversation somewhere incredibly erudite where nobody can even possibly understand or know the veracity of what you're saying? Nobody's a fucking anthropologist, dog. Nobody can disprove you on this shit. No, I think everyone with like at least somewhat like a little bit of brain processing power can disprove that like, Jewish people operating at the behest of lizards are not banishing you into Saturn. That face when you believe a meme, a 37-year-old NEET made in 2016 so hard that you end up in prison for 41 months. Well, worse than ending up in prison for 41 months is that this man's mind is now a prison, okay?
Andrew is the goat for doing
that's
this.
Like
45 minutes of
he looked at the abyss for far too long. Nothing is up there now. Nothing. It's over. He was already stupid, and he could have been one of those like happy stupid guys, okay? There are so many dudes in Arizona living in the desert that are content, okay?
Hello,
but no, this guy had to literally go the extra mile, and now he's brain broken. How do you fucking pull him out of that? How? It is done. It's super done. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any salvaging to be done here.
drank the blood, they were drinking something known as adrenochrome, because once the adrenalized blood was hit with oxygen, it changed from adrenaline to adrenochrome. Okay, and if people don't believe that adrenochrome is real, all you got to do is watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Okay, type in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas adrenochrome scene, and you will see that this is a very real thing. That you are able to harvest this chemical, this adrenalized blood, and drink it or ingest it.
15 months
Bro, that is straight up no different than being like, dude, if you want to know about muggles, obviously watch Harry Potter. It's real. I saw it in Harry Potter. One day I'm gonna be able to fucking push my cart in at the fucking train station and be able to magically go to Hogwarts in the famous train. Like, dude, you think movies are real? It's over. It's done. Okay.
It will be like an intense psychedelic high, and these individuals would end up using this understanding that they had just for themselves and creating sort of like an elite group caste that kept everybody else marginalized and ruled. A lot of the time it was the same bloodlines that were moving from one empire to the other around the globe and erecting these empires based off of the same ritual magic. Okay, and they would infiltrate the gene pools of certain ecosystems or certain nations, and then they would use these individuals.
Bro, if he studied anything, as hard as he studied these conspiracy theories, like, first of all, he would literally have a job, okay, and he would not be in prison, okay? Like, the amount of time he spent to remember all this shit and it's all fake, that's so sad. It's like such a waste of time, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that sucks. You literally put more work into this than people put into their dissertations. Okay? And it's all made up by fucking deranged sociopathic neets on the internet that are masking themselves under anonymity with the hopes that maybe one day their psychotic nonsense they typed into a fucking forum will break some human's brain. Okay? And you gave them that. That makes me even more angry than anything else, really. Is like, you can never let the neets win. Okay? You just can't.
As they infiltrated the gene pool, they would use their children as like higher level people in power, whether it be making them king or making them a prince or a duke or a sultan or whatever. So this is something that has been going on for quite some time. I mean, if you look into, how similar I forgot his first name, but there was a certain Rockefeller that looks just like John Podesta, and John Podesta looks just like the singer from from Linkin Park.
We pay their salaries and the fucking castles they live in. Cheer 100, cheer 1.
What? Okay, I just ended TTS for now.
I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Homie is just racist, by the way. He was the real anti-white racist, for the record. He thinks all white people look the same. That's a little sus. Okay? Yeah. This is my favorite kind of fucking conspiracy theorist on the internet, though. Like, people that think like, bro, I swear, like, Tupac is alive and like he's on camera.
Chester Bennington.
Chester Bennington, thank you. Yeah, they all look like strikingly similar. Okay, Merkel in Germany looks just like Hitler.
What? No, she doesn't. What the fuck? Lol. Yeah.
Barbara Bush looks just like Aleister Crowley. What we're talking about is like a 6,000-year-old death cult that has been sacrificing children, like what was going on in Babylon and in the Canaanites where they were sacrificing children to Baal and Moloch and all that stuff. Okay, there's international bankers that own whole economies. There are international bankers that own whole countries and whole economies. Okay, and these individuals are able to control and corrupt whole institutions of government, of corporations, banking.
Right. So I just wanted to say,
he knows about social fascists, Hassan. Read more theory than you. Okay, dude. Yeah, theory is when you agree with Stalin, and the more you agree with Stalin, the more theory you know.
People talk about ritual murder and the satanic sacrifice of children. I think that raises a lot of red flags for people in terms of like anti-Semitism, because I mean, people used what they call blood libel all throughout the 20th century to provide justifications for genocide, and it was kind of spread as propaganda because saying that someone eats babies is like the worst thing you can say about someone. Pretty much, it's like if you lose all your friends, like if people think you eat babies, like it's over for your career and social.
He's like, that's kind of not the move, dude. Eating babies, like, we kind of intrinsically understand that, like, that's a bad thing. I gotta run that back.
Like, if you lose all your friends, like, if people think you eat babies, like it's over for your career and social life.
Well, and I think it's important to note here, though, that. First of all, you're absolutely right. And there have been many people that have been maligned and been demonized as dark occultists, and it turns out that they're not.
He's saying, like, sometimes we do get it wrong. He's like, he's not letting go of the baby eating thing, but he's like, sometimes we like call someone out for eating a baby, and, maybe they weren't eating a baby. It's fucked up. Dude, that's awesome. But the baby eating part is real, obviously. But, not everybody's eating babies.
There have been a lot of people that have taken the rap when, they weren't doing any of these things. Like you said, it was just, negative problems.
Ooh, by the way, I don't think anyone, at least in, like, contemporary society, I don't think anyone has, like, been punished, even if they were actually eating babies like he thinks they were. Who's been unjustifiably called into question for eating children? Like, I want to, that's really interesting. I want to know more about that.
Propaganda campaigns. But I also think it's important to note here that there's people that say, it's the Hebrews that are doing it, or it's the Satanists that are doing it, or whatever. What you got to keep in mind is that, first of all, real Hebrews would never do anything like that.
When you say they worship Saturn, are you talking about the planet?
Yes. Satan worship and Saturn worship are one and the same.
Is it just because they sound similar, or is there a connection?
No. We're talking.
What does he mean by real Hebrews, yo? Is he a fucking black Israelite too? Dude, come on. Give me that part too. He like literally collected every fucking conspiracy theory like a Pokemon, dude.
People that understand the intricacies of astrology, interconnectivity, or what is called quantum entanglement in the quantum field, or the way that electromagnetic fields are nested, and when you contribute certain energies to a certain electromagnetic field, there are certain effects that happen within the ecosystem or within the electromagnetic nested ball of yarn, shall we say.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit more about QAnon. So the mythology of QAnon was all about how this event was getting...
It's called syncretism, the collection of unrelated ideas under a single ideology, and is part of what makes QAnon unique. I feel like QAnon is like One Piece, bro. There's like too much lore to get into it. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that kind of make it a little gatekeepy? Or it like puts a natural barrier of entry automatically into QAnon? So like I'm not going to watch One Piece. Why? Because, I'm not a weeb, as everybody knows. And also because, like, I don't have 7,000 hours of free time. You know what I mean? And I feel like QAnon kind of is like that too. You need to know so much. There's like so much lore that you need to be invested in. Like people be like, and then people are like, read the fucking QAnon manga. Like it's so much better than fucking anime QAnon. You know what I mean? Are you fucking watching QAnon with subs or dubs? Like if you're watching it with dubs, then you're not a real one.
And it was going to be called The Storm, which is basically when they stop the steal, you know, they put Trump rightfully back in the White House, and then patriots take control of the country and disempower the deep state. But on December 8th, 2020, QAnon made its last post, which was just a YouTube link to the song We're Not Gonna Take It, you know, we're not gonna take it, and then pretty much like went dark. And so it's like, I think it leaves a lot of people wondering, like, did the storm happen? Like, what's up with the storm? Is it still coming? Like, what's next?
Well, first of all, I think that we're in the midst of the storm with all of this COVID stuff. I think that we're in the midst of it right now. If you think about the damage that's being done to our economy, to our culture,
That's wishful, okay? No, he knows. I think deep down inside, straight up, deep down inside, I think he knows. He's just like, oh, no, the storm is still happening. Like, it's really fucking hard for you to think the storm is still happening, bro. Come on. Come the fuck on.
Our national identity, to the truther movement, as it were. But I think that it's important that people like realize that people now know about child and human trafficking, and they also know about the hundreds of deep underground military bases in the United States and all over the world. They also know about things like spiritual parasites and the way that, you know, psychic vampires play a role. They know about adrenochrome. They know about Bohemian Grove. They know about Jeffrey Epstein and his island and all the pedophile networks and the pedophile code. They know.
You said psychic vampires?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what these Satanists are. Is they're like psychic vampires.
Okay.
They're like demonic possessed people. That's part of what black magic is you allow your body to be like a vessel for a demonic spirit. Okay. So people know about the deep state. They know about how blackmail is used in the deep state to cover up the crimes against humanity, how it's all these networks, the pedophile networks and the Mockingbird media is used to cover up the truth about this breakaway.
Bro, what are they? Dude. I really do think they should just shut down 4chan. Like, that's crazy. They should have just shut down 4chan, 8chan, all of those. Like, bro, this stuff is bananas, dude. And now it's on Facebook, bro. Like, all this shit that was in the fucking forums. Now it's on Facebook and on Instagram. Like, it is actually fucking cancerous. This, I mean, 8chan was shut down, yeah. Like, if there is anything that you could symbolically consider to be a fucking psychic pedophile vampire, it's literally this, dude. Okay? It's this thing. Cancer.
Civilization that's going on underneath our feet as we speak. People are being neuro-linguistically programmed.
The funniest part about it is that like all this high level, like super conceptual stuff somehow always magically ties in to like some of the most basic boomer ass conservative ideas, bro. It's like, yeah, there are high level vampires. Like, they're sucking people's energy. They're eating babies. They're banishing people to Saturn. And who's going to save us? A TV-obsessed, narcissistic, son of multimillionaire real estate guy who has failed upwards his entire life, okay, and is just obsessed with television. That's the guy. And also, we need to defend the police as well, by the way, because they are also a line of defense against the psychotic, interdimensional vampire bloodsuckers. Like, that's how you defeat these, omnipotent, omnipresent vampire figures.
With the truth. But unfortunately, the movement has become fragmented. There's people that infiltrate and spread disinformation.
Right. So I just want to go back to the storm a little bit. The 6th of January was supposed to be the storm, right?
Is that the case? I don't know.
I remember like in a lot of the flyers that I saw for the 6th beforehand, like that got sent to me, it was like the storm is coming. The 6th is the storm, because they're going to stop Congress from certifying Joe Biden. And then the 20th was supposed to be the storm, which was Inauguration Day. And I was actually in D.C. for Inauguration Day, and it was a military occupation in the streets. There was checkpoints on every street. You couldn't even walk around. There was hardly even a celebration crowd for Biden, and definitely not really an opposition crowd for Trump. I think a lot of people just got turned off from Q because they saw the goalposts just being moved what felt like over and over again. And I was wondering if you felt like it's possible that QAnon may have been a psyop to delegitimize the truth about things like Operation Mockingbird and Operation Paperclip.
I think that there is going to be, in any sort of a truth movement, there's going to be infiltrators and disinformation agents. People have to understand that what we're dealing with is a new type of warfare. Okay, it's a new type of warfare. It's information and economic warfare, and I think that a lot of people are looking. They're missing the forest. They're missing the forest for the trees. Is that the saying? And the final battlefield for this global war that we're in is the mind. And I do not believe that Q is a tabloid straw man, because the movement was not in the tabloids until it began to supersede and threaten the Mockingbird media. And the truth is always rejected, resisted, despised, and demonized before it's accepted. So with that said, I think that we have to look at the wins. There's been lots of recognition.
Pre-watch Biker, what did he say that I was peeing, dude? Hold on, let me just look at it real quick.
Okay, it's a new type of warfare. It's information and economic warfare, and I think that a lot of people are looking. They're missing the forest. They're missing the forest for the trees. Is that the saying? And
he said what I said. Oh, he said that like some people actually make up fake conspiracies. Andrew asked him if he thought Q was a psyop. Which I think it is, by the way. Just like Alex Jones. My coworker is so brainwashed by anti-vax TikTok. He said that Callie's about to pull all the unvax people in FEMA camps. Dude, the part about that really fucking annoys me is that like that never happens, dude. And then what?
Information and
Operation Mockingbird legitimize the truth about things like Operation Mockingbird and Operation Paperclip.
I think that there is going to be, in any sort of a truth movement, there's going to be infiltrators and disinformation agents. People have to understand that what we're dealing with is a new type of warfare. Okay, it's a new type of warfare. It's information and economic warfare, and I think that a lot of people are looking. They're missing the forest. They're missing the forest for the trees. Is that the saying? And the final battlefield for this global war.
Oh my God! Oh, dude, what the fuck?
That we're in is the mind. And I do not believe that Q is a tabloid straw man, because the movement was not in the tabloids until it began to supersede and threaten the Mockingbird media. And the truth is always rejected, resisted, despised, and demonized before it's accepted. So with that said, I think that
there's at least one person in the chat getting red pill right now. 0% chance. 0% chance. But now that you said that, there's going to be hella people being like, no, I'm actually learning a lot. Like, oh, I'm getting, yeah, no shot, dude. No fucking shot. Okay. Again, for most people, this stuff, especially when you see it in its entirety, especially when it's being delivered by a party that is like kind of showing you, guiding you that it's fucking silly, will very easily help you recognize that this shit is silly. Okay? The way they get you is not by someone listening to the fucking QAnon shaman. The way they get you is by something that you are actually fearful of. Okay? Like, for example, COVID, where the institutions have fucking failed and you're looking for answers and someone gives you like a little baby drip feed of answers and they unlock a part of your trust in your mind by telling you something you didn't know. I do this on a daily basis as well, but the difference is I'm giving you truthful and accurate information. Like if you, for example, never knew about, I don't know, the fucking bombing of Tulsa, and you hear about it for the first time when you're listening to it here, or the move bombing, you know what I mean? And you hear about it for the first time here, you're like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know. Maybe this guy knows some other shit that's also, that I also did not learn about. So what ends up happening for a lot of these people is like, they're looking for answers, okay? Or Fred Hampton's assassination, shit like that. Yes. The difference, of course, is that I'm like actually giving you, factually correct shit, and I show you the sources as well. Whereas on the internet, on Facebook and on fucking 4chan and shit, they just like make this stuff up, right? That's how they drip feed you all of this like fake bullshit. They drip feed it to you slowly but surely by like breaking into your fucking mainframe by giving you some answers, okay? Like a little bit of answers and a little bit of truth as well, sprinkled with like a whole lot of conspiratorial bullshit that is nonsensical, but seemingly works within your worldview, okay? Seemingly works within your this new world that it's teaching you, that it's educating you, okay? Well, and it's like really mystical. It's magical thinking. It's a fun way to believe in some of the most like reactionary ideas. Okay? It's like Blue Lives Matter in and of its own is not fun. Well, oh yeah, let's fucking defend cops. But Blue Lives Matter sprinkled in with like all these other fucking magical, mystical ways of thinking. All of a sudden you're like, well, all these other guys are, Blue Lives Andes. All these other guys believe in the other things that I believe in. Okay? So maybe there's some truth to that. And then that's how you get into the fucking team sport mentality.
I think that we have to look at the wins. There's
Thank you, Mr. Atari.
Resignations like Cuomo, the Cuomo brothers, all sorts of CNN producers are being proven to be pedos. The child trafficking is being exposed. The vax mandates are dead in the water. Omicron is probably going to create a massive global herd immunity without too much adverse side effects. Let's Go Brandon is taking over the entire nation. I mean,
like, look at how fucking corny it is. Like, when you bring all of that magical, mystical thinking back into like what this guy truly believes, right? At its core, when it comes to like American politics, think about how fucking corny that shit is. He went from international, intergalactic, space vampire pedophilia to Let's Go Brandon. Like, how the fuck? How do you go from, you know, people being banished to Saturn to Let's Go Brandon, dog. It's so fucking whack. And fucking gas prices. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, dude. He sounds so happy and giddy. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, let's go, Brandon. Like, everybody's waking up to the reality of the top of the hour ad break. Like, let's go, Brandon. You know, that's why they're subscribing, because they know that the ad break is coming. That's why Mr. Atari gifted 10 gifted subs. Is that a coincidence? Right on the fucking dime, right at 4 p.m., he gifted 10 subs. No, he doesn't want 10 people to see the ad. He wants an ad-free broadcasting experience for other people. And if you want it for yourself, if you're not lucky enough to be able to be a gift sub recipient, okay, like the one that Dennis Prazier's Bussy just gifted out, 5 of them, then you need to gift yourself a sub for $5. But if you don't have $5, then you need to gift yourself a sub for free by subscribing with a Twitch Prime. Corinna Koff, what the fuck? Yo! Thank you, Corinna Koff, for the 20 gifted subs. Thank you, Kathleen, for the 5. Seamus for the 10 gifted subs. And Summer Crepe and Fuzz Can't Aim and B-Boy Void. Damn, why? What's up, Corinna? How you doing? I did get excited. Kelly Say Gal, thank you for the 5 gifted as well.
I mean, that's and of all places on college campuses where they were hoping
Tyler
to
M,
indoctrinate all
thank you
these
for the
people
5.
to be Marxists. Parents are standing up to school boards, and CRT is dead in the water. Kyle Rittenhouse's acquittal was a huge win for the Second Amendment. I mean, for Christ's sake, Black Lives Matter and Trump supporters were marching against the vaccine mandates, for crying out loud. We are now going to have free speech alternatives to social media. Cancel culture is being canceled. People are realizing that woke is broke, man. You know, the world's waking up. Everybody's standing in solidarity together, bro. So it's going to take some time. That's just all there is to it. It's going to take some time. So I think that what people need to do, as opposed to being demoralized, is they need to pick a hill.
Thank you, Barry
and
Von
have an
Strange.
indomitable will. They need to stop putting all their hopes in one person or in one group, because then their hope is so easily.
Bro, it is kind of fucking funny that, like, just like any number of conservative moms that sit around and watch Fox News ultimately believe in the same shit that this guy does, okay? Like, this guy went on a trip to outer space and came back to arrive at the same fucking house that, like, any number, millions of Americans agree with, okay? Like, you could have just fast-tracked it, dude. You could have just, like, watched Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and gotten there. But no. And also, that's how you, like, fight against intergalactic space vampires. By fucking... because, like, people are realizing that, like, going woke is going broke. That's how... That's a big win, dude. Like, that doesn't make sense even in the universe that he has created in his mind. You know what I mean? If this is an awesome power, okay? If this is this, like, incredibly powerful, mind-bendingly powerful, reality-bending, you know, evil villains. Corinna Koff with a 50 gifted sub. Thank you, Corinna. Like, can you imagine if you read this in a fucking comic book, you'd be like, this shit sucks, bro. Like, Marvel Cinematic Universe, okay? And Thanos has the power to fucking bring about the end of civilization or just wipe out with one fucking, you know, snap of his finger, eliminate 50% of all living, breathing things, right? But instead, Thanos is actually trying to snap his fingers to bring about CRT in American schools. If you read that in a comic book, you'd be like, this is the dumbest fucking thing, dude. Or is this that's what we're afraid of? That's what's going on? Like, that sucks, dude. How do you not realize that, like, there's something that just does not make sense? So silly.
Lost. They need to be the change that they want to see in the world. You have to be the change you want to see. Fight with all your might. You know what I'm saying? But
do you are you allowed to talk about January 6th?
I'm not going to talk about that. I've been advised by my lawyers just to leave that situation alone.
Okay. Well, I guess, do you feel like Trump should have done more to help you?
Well, I feel about Trump the way that I felt about him throughout the 4 years of his presidency. I mean,
What is this? Please fix me, daddy. Okay, you need to stop. I'm trying to focus on psycho conspiracy theories over here, okay? Jesus Christ. God damn. All right. Let's continue with this video.
It's changed slightly with his support of these vaccines, but he took the deep state and the corrupt bureaucracy and the corrupt media on head to head. He went toe to toe with them, and he did that, I think, for the American people and for America in general. I think that took courage and strength. But there's other things where it's like, I look, he built the border wall went through a sacred Native American burial ground. They blew up a sacred Native American burial ground on the southern border of Arizona, just so they could put a wall through it. And to me, that's akin to blowing up a veteran's graveyard. I think Trump should have fired Fauci when he had the chance, as opposed to giving him the microphone, as opposed to pushing vaccines and Operation Warp Speed as the greatest achievement of mankind. And once again, coming to your question, I think he could have and should have been there for more of the J6 people. I think he should have been more outspoken. In all honesty, I honestly think he should have given all the nonviolent offenders a pardon, personally. But at the same time, I try to understand his reasoning for all that, and I know that I don't know everything.
Oh, what a fucking simp, dude. Yo, imagine being such a fucking Trump simp that after he literally left you in the dark and then straight up called you Antifa, you're still like, you're in prison because of him, and your lawyer straight up said that Trump is a psycho and he's the reason why you're in jail. You're still like, oh, he means well. I swear he cares about me. I promise. Like, dude, no, he doesn't, dude. You are so cucked. Holy shit. Okay? Holy fucking shit, dog. He's also pro-vaccine. That's the other funny part. I hope Andrew brings that up.
And I have to respect and appreciate what it is that he has done for the American people, even if I don't always agree with him or see eye to eye.
Right. One thing I think about January 6th in the media, it's very strange to me that people took you, and in the media, especially right-wing media, made it seem like you were some sort of crisis actor hired by Antifa to make people look dumb.
All I can say is, for part of me was like, that's hilarious, because anybody that really knows me knows that's not true. Another part of me is like, okay, this is a perfect example of how it is that the truth gets smeared.
Wait, but that was Republicans that said that. So what does he mean, how the truth gets smeared? What's he talking about? Look at him. Damn.
Fact of the matter is, I'm not Antifa. I'm not Black Lives Matter. And the fact of the matter is, when I was marching at the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa protests in Phoenix, I wasn't marching with them. I was marching with the police. I'm a perfect example of how they neurolinguistically program people through the use of images, through the use of trigger words, and through the use of trigger images. And as far as I'm concerned, you need to be the change that you want to see in the world. You need to be the one that's the leader. I think that imagine this, for example.
Here's what happened when you wanted to be the change you want to see in the world. 41 months prison sentence, okay? So that's one. And two, how the fuck does he not understand that, like, Andrew wasn't talking about fucking CNN. CNN didn't call him a crisis actor. Fox News did. Donald Trump did. Like it's the homies that were there with him that were like, yeah, that man right there, he's a crisis actor. You're right. It's like, okay, so they are doing the fucking neurolinguistic programming, I guess.
We have a capital in every city, in every state, and in every country all over the world. Imagine if every single person that was dedicated to the truth and to getting the truth out to the people met at their capital every single Saturday at noon. So this is our historical window of opportunity where, where we can all gather together, nonviolently at our local capitals, where we can organize by default. We can change the dialogue. We can, moralize by default. We can change our collective thought patterns by default. This idea of every Saturday at noon at your local capital, it organizes people by default. It changes.
Not only that, but it would.
Dude, how the fuck does the sheer awesome power that you foresee these like evil beings having in the manga style universe that you envision the planet, like how does that not fucking destroy you, okay, automatically when you comprehend how fucking crazy powerful they are? And how do you also go back to like, oh yeah, these people that are like by design way more powerful, like they're godlike figures, but we can eliminate them by getting together at the Capitol. Make this make sense. How do those two thoughts exist in the same brain, bro? Yeah, dude, through the power of prayer, you're going to get together at the fucking state capitals all around and you're going to pray them away? Like how does that makes no sense.
It would take the stigma away from, pulling up to the Capitol. If we pulled up to the Capitol, our own capitals every week, just like,
exactly.
Hey, we're here.
Exactly.
And then that way.
Think about the way. Oh, go ahead.
That way, you can't say, hey, they went to the Capitol, they're terrorists. You say, they went to the Capitol, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what we always do.
Right? And think about how that would change the collective thought patterns. And think about this. Imagine if every Saturday at the Capitol at noon, people gathered together and they burned their vax cards, or they burned their vaccine passports, or they burned their masks.
Defeating the deep state cabal by burning your vax cards, bro. Again.
Very similar to what like Gandhi did in South Africa with the passes that the Indians were forced to carry, but no British citizen was supposed to carry or forced to carry. Okay, imagine if everybody refused to socially distance, if everybody was praying or singing, dancing, and socializing, or basically going back to normal. If actually better than normal, because now we're all united. Imagine if at these locations people were talking about Tesla coils and 0-point energy engines. Look at people like Gandhi, look at people like Martin Luther King Jr. and stuff like that. Even look at what happened in the USSR, where everybody gave the communists the finger and said, we're not working for you, we're not working with you in the USSR.
Wow, this guy's understanding of how the USSR collapsed is pretty in line with like 99% of Americans, actually, I think.
Right. So
that's how the USSR fell. Everybody was like, guys, this is what they collectively got together in the USSR. They got at the state capitals and they did this. Hey, you stop it.
I want to go back to something you talked about, and it's the idea of nonviolent rebellion. And I'm of the belief that you are a truly nonviolent person. But with a lot of these, with a lot of these large events, like large protests, large rallies, I think that there's going to be a lot of bad seeds that are in the mix, and that isn't referring to a specific event. Just in general, and I think that it becomes harder to police and expel violent people from your movement as tensions are high and numbers grow. Like if you go to a Trump rally, right, anywhere, there is people there who are nonviolent, but there's also people who are just there to, beat the shit out of the opposition and just just go there and use these movements as an outlet for their hatred. How do you feel about that?
Well, this is something I think that is really important because we can use a certain event, I'll just say that, we can use a certain event that happened to learn, okay? If there's some sort of violence happening, do not contribute to it, back away from the violent person and allow authorities to handle it. Then you're not associated with the violence at all. I also think that things like prayer are very, very important at these places. I don't know if you
Wait, what event is this guy talking about? I wonder. What significant event could he be referencing here? Was he? I wonder how he found himself backing away into literally the floor of the house. That was. Remember when he backed away? He was just like walking backwards and found himself in the on the floor. Shocking that he maybe he backed away too much. I think.
No, but there was this group that did like an experiment where in Washington, D.C., they gathered together, I think it was like once a week for an hour, and they meditated and focused on the idea of nonviolence and peace and love. And the crime rates in Washington, D.C. dropped by like 25 to 35%. Nonviolent rebellion is the only thing that has ever created some sort of long-lasting change. Like what Gandhi said, dude, a victory attained by violence is tantamount to a defeat.
For sure. Do you have any regrets?
Dude, when you're sitting in a cell for 22 hours a day, you have all sorts of regrets, far beyond the ones that landed you in that cell. Okay, you think about everything you've ever done in your life that you're like, man, I screwed up there, I screwed up there, I screwed up there, I messed up here, I wish I would have said that, I wish I would have done that, I wish I would have kissed her, I wish I would have shown up, I wish I would have done this, you know what I'm saying? You pick yourself apart like no other.
And yet, through that sequence of regret, not a single one of those regrets revolve around QAnon conspiracies, as evidenced by the past 40 fucking minutes of psychotic rambling. Holy shit, dude. Oh my lord, that is bananas. Actually. Like, he went so far back. He's like, oh man, in 7th grade, I should have held her hand. And is like, but not a single part of that was like, maybe I shouldn't believe the fucking QAnon stuff. Like, I don't know.
But the thing is that after all this time in solitary, they did it to break me. But what it did is it made me. All this pressure, the FBI breathing down my neck, the DOJ prosecuting me, the media spewing their lies, my previous counsel totally abhorrently misrepresenting me, saying I'm retarded and, delusional and schizophrenic and all this stuff. All the while I'm in solitary confinement. I can't do anything about it. I can't express myself. I can't talk to the press. The
Chappie like canceled this man. Yo, he said the R word. Cancel this man. First of all, I think he can say it. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
Sure, it was unbelievable, but it turned me into what David Goggins calls anti-fragile, or almost like a spiritual diamond of sorts, where all that pressure didn't break.
If there's a man who there's someone who has the past, is this guy, okay?
Made me a better, stronger, more spiritual person.
How do you think that you'll be remembered by history?
Well, I'm not done yet.
Right. So what's the plan? What comes next?
Uh-oh. What does that mean?
Like, do you have any plans for whenever you get out?
Oh yeah, I'm going to write an autobiography. I'd like to make movies. I'd like to make music. I want to make some more of my paintings.
We should make music, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm down. Dude,
we should make a first day out video. It's like in rap, whenever rappers get out of jail. Not that you have to rap, but they do a first day out for.
But like, it'd be cool if you did. Okay, dude. This man's already on his like, dude, this is the best part about the fucking like conspiracy theorists and Trump supporters. Like, they recognize the ecosystem that exists, right? Where they know like there is a lot of money to be made in this, no matter how deep in the fucking how deep in the paint they are, no matter how much like how heavily invested in the psychosis they are. They still recognize that there's a lot of money to be made by other dumbasses that are just as dumb as they are.
Freestyle. You should do something like that, but it's like you drop a music video your first day out of prison.
That would be cool.
It would go crazy.
That would be awesome, dude. I'd totally do it, bro. And I'd work with whoever could help me with that, you know.
We will help you with that.
I also want to start my own church.
Yeah. Going back to the music thing, do you know how to freestyle rap at all?
I'm a poet. I'm not a rapper. I could probably learn.
You know this motherfucker's like, rap is beneath me. It's like, bro. Dude, I love white people so much. Okay? Straight up. How dare people tell me I am a hater of white people, okay? You know this is as white people shit as the fucking I have native heritage, like saying you have native heritage, to say like I'm above rap music, okay? I don't do that sort of thing.
Learn to rap, but I'm much better when it comes to singing than rapping.
Do you think you could sing something for us?
What the fuck? Cash App, thank you for the 69 tier 1 subs. Holy fuck, they've given me 4,000 subs. Insane, dude. 4,000 subs so far. Yeah, his rap is gonna look like Bruno's.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was insane.
What? Wait.
Than rapping.
Do you think you could sing something for us?
Whoa!
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, dude, I can get so freaking loud, bro. I can get so loud, you have no idea.
Did you just freak anybody out in your pod?
I don't know, probably. Dude, I can go for miles. If I'm in the right spot, you can hear me for miles.
I can't believe your lawyer said you were retarded. That's so whack.
Yeah, it's to say the least. He abhorrently misrepresented me and was extremely inaccurate. But you know, I think as people listen to me speak, they begin to see the truth is quite the opposite. So that's why I encourage people, you know, to do their own research, because that's really the only way. I mean, like, seriously, if all people would.
Yeah, bro, do your own research. Listen to me ramble on for 44 minutes, and you will come to a similar conclusion. Obviously not in such terms, but
have had to do to know the truth about me and who I really am, that I'm not a deep state actor, that I'm, you know, not mentally ill, that, you know, that I had nothing to do with BLM or Antifa. All they would have to do is would have had to go to my Rumble, go to my BitChute, and read my book.
Right. So what media outlets do you trust?
Oh, dude, I don't really. I search so many media outlets. I search so many sources before I ever come to a conclusion about anything. But look, I want to keep talking to you, but unfortunately I do have to go. I got to give my family a call because of the holiday and such. But if you want, we can do it.
That's fucking sad, dude. That's the saddest fucking part of this combo. Is that this man has like 3 hours of fucking free time a day when he's not in solitary confinement. And he spent 44 minutes of that with Andrew. And like, I don't know how much time he has to spend with his family. It was not like the full 3 probably.
Another interview, bro. I can always call you back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down. So I was wondering, like, I have this friend named Kelly, who I was telling you about, who we're making a documentary on, and yeah, I kind of want you to meet him.
Okay, cool. Then we'll definitely work it out. We'll definitely do something, man. Thanks, Channel 5, for having me on, man, and I hope to be on once again. It's been a pleasure, like beyond what it's been before. You know, the questions you asked were fan-frickin-tastic, and I hope to do this again. Thank you so much, Andrew, and, you know, God bless you, and God bless America, and God bless the world.
Yeah, God bless you too, man. Let's keep in touch. Anytime you call, I'll answer.
Yes, sir. God bless, man. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Sounds good, man.
Bye.
All right.
The world's top.
Oh my God. Wait. There's a fucking like network of QAnon people that like they all know each other. Kelly is like the Trump guy, right? Like, I met him. He's the flag guy. Dude, that was so fucking sad. That was the last part was like actually hurt my soul. Yeah, I met him. Yeah, Kelly's the Kobe Bryant was killed by the Clintons guy.